your beautiful background, Melissa. I love it. You're just all so pretty.
Can't see my arm though, right?
I know.
Doing the Matrix, y'all.
Oh my gosh, guys, we are live. We're so excited. Starting the year with our live stream. We kind of got a system of what we're going to discuss. So without further ado, we are ATX Homegirls.
Hey, y'all.
Shirts on. We got our coffee. Yes. We're repping. But Melissa, I'll let you introduce yourself and then we'll carry on with our live stream.
So my name is Melissa Hudson. I am with ATX Homegirls. It's really just two of us right now. And throughout the year, we're going to actually have guests. But I am originally from Austin. So I am an ATX homegirl. I'm a realtor. And what I'm excited about today for our live is we're going to step into a series called Where's Your Hood? And we're going to start with our hood. So you'll learn a little bit more about me as we dive into Where's Our Hood. But I'll let you have it on, Liza. Go ahead.
I know. I'm excited about it. And oh, man, that reminds me, before I introduce myself, I'm going to need to pull up that skit, that comedian skit. So hold on a second. Anyway, let me introduce myself.
You could totally do that on this live.
Yes, probably so. So, guys, I'm Liza Brazel. I'm also a realtor and born and raised here in Austin and loving it. And that's why we're bringing you valuable content because we want to share what we know with you guys. And maybe there's something that you don't know that you might find valuable in our live stream. So we're doing it every month. Our aim is for every third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. So again, let's get started. What we have on our agenda. I wrote it down.
Wednesday, but it's okay.
Wednesdays? Is it every third Wednesday?
Yes, you said Thursday.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I meant to say, okay.
Every third Wednesday.
Every third Wednesday.
There you go.
And you know what? I might even have, you know what? I have it right here, girl. Let me bring on the freaking ticker down there. So it says ATX Homegirls live every third Wednesday because, I can't afford to mess up right now. But anyways, all right. So for our agenda, we're going to be discussing the market stats. I know it's boring information, but it is important information. So you are in the know of what's going on in your area and specifically Austin, Greater Austin area. So we are going to be discussing stats and then moving on to neighborhoods. And we're ending it with events. So I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm like, man, I feel so organized. All right. So
24 off to a good start, y'all.
You ready to jump into the stats?
Let's go.
All right, girl.
What you got?
Let's do this. I'm going to add this to the stage. It's going to make us a little bit small. So I have 3 things on here for stats that we wanted to discuss. And what's interesting, Melissa, when we see the stats here, we see that what I find interesting, and you tell me if you're finding this interesting as well. So we have in the middle of the graph here, we have 2 lines. We have that blue line, and then we have like this tan gold line, right? And that blue line represents the median sales price. Mm-hmm. And the gold tan line represents the closed sales. So when we see this as realtors, we see, yep, we went through it. It peaked and then the median price started to go down. But as you can see, it seems like it wants to creep up again, right?
Yeah.
And also the sales are increasing as well. Like it's catching up to that as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what this year will look like, given that it's forecasted, right? Again, we cannot predict the future, but it's forecasted that interest rates are going to drop maybe 4 to 6 times this year. And it doesn't mean that it's going to drop down to like 3% or 4%. It could be 0.12%, right? Or it could be 0.25%. And maybe it could go back up a little bit and then drop down 0.25%. We don't know what those drops are going to be, but there are drops.
And I think that's subjective, right? Because people are like, oh, what is it? A buyer's market, a seller's market. But when we say forecast or we say what, I wouldn't say the rumors, but the projections or predictions are, it's every year anyway, you tend to have like a higher peak during spring and summer. Mm-hmm. So our hope is that in spring and summer, you're going to have better interest rates will inject healthy buying into our market, mm-hmm. and will help sellers sell their homes quicker. But I say things are looking good, especially for my listings, guys. I'm having more showings and more questions more than ever, which is it's very refreshing after the year we had in 2023. Anyway,
Exactly. No, I agree, Melissa. Like I want to say for me, it was pretty dead in October, November timeframes. And it, strangely enough, like I want to say after the holidays, it picked up a little bit. So it gave me hope and then it died down again. But then I saw it pick up a lot in this month alone. So it does give me hope as well, like from an individual experience. And then I love talking to people, other realtors, and then colleagues and friends like you, Melissa, to also see if we're on the same page of what we're seeing, right? Am I an anomaly, or are we experiencing the same thing? Because that's a trajectory. We can kind of see, okay, this is where it's going to go.
Speaking of stats, I had, you know how on your Facebook timeline it says, hey, this happened a year ago, this happened 2 years ago, this happened 3 years ago. So this was my Facebook memory from 3 years ago. It says, y'all, we have an inventory 3 years ago. So when was 3 years ago? Okay.
Hold on, let me do some math. 2021. That was when the crazy happened.
Okay. It says, y'all, we have an inventory shortage in the greater Austin area. We need inventory, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Oh,
if you're even thinking of selling, now is the time. I have qualified buyers. Folks are standing in lines to tour homes. I would love to help get you top dollar. Call me. Let's chat. Do you remember standing in line with your buyers because there were so many buyers waiting to tour?
Yes. And that reminds me, last night, I want to say, I think I was on Facebook. And I had a memory come up as well that I remember being in line in the cold, waiting in line a long time. And I told my clients, I was like, don't worry, wait in the car. And then once the line starts moving, then I'll tell you to come out and then we can go preview the property. But that was this time last year. That was this time yesterday for me. And then for you this time today. And what's interesting is when we look at the market stats now, if you see here, let me go. If you see on the kind of like the top right corner where it says months of inventory, guys, that reflected 3 years ago, 0.1, 0.2 months of inventory, right? Now we're at 3 months of inventory. So there's several, what this means for buyers, right? It means that there's several options to choose from. Here's what your median price is looking at. I'm not saying every home you're going to see is going to be at $443,000. It's just on average, not average, but the median sales price with all the homes that we have on the market, right? Condominiums, townhomes, and single family homes, they're around this price, right? Now, what's interesting when I go, if you come with me here and look at the lower right corner, the close to original list is 91.5%. Meaning that these homes closed for 8.5% less than what they were listed for. I want to say last year, they were closing close to maybe anywhere between 10, 15% less in price. So this is an improvement. Yes, it's still closing less what sellers are asking for, but I also think it's kind of a mixture of things. I think sellers now are realizing that they're probably not going to get exactly what they're wanting for. So they price it a little bit more aggressively. And even then they leave a little wiggle room for negotiations depending on the market, right? So
which brings in the days on market. So you guys see that's days on market. We used to see days on market, even last year, you could get away with like 20, you know, around the spring last year, 20, 84 days on the market. Now, I know they're including the outliers, like Liza said, people who are overpricing their homes, takes longer to sell. But that 84 days on market is a good indicator. I think it's a fair indicator of how long it's going to take you to get a contract. Now, that being said, if you're pricing your home aggressively, you will not be on the market that long. I mean aggressive in the sense that you're a very serious seller and you want to sell your home. So you're really going to look at the most recent solds, and then you're going to sometimes even do better than that sold price so you can get buyers in the door and get your home sold.
Exactly. So nearly 3 months on the market. I mean, a little less than that, but that's what we're looking at and what you can expect for the greater Austin area. Now, let's move on to our neighborhoods that we want to talk about. So real quick, we're gonna be focusing in a particular part of Austin, two sections, one Montopolis, which is where Melissa and I are from, and the other one's going to be Southeast Austin. I think this is a great way to kick off the year because I still believe Southeast Austin has a lot going for it with the proximity of everything and the businesses that are growing around. And then Montopolis, oh my God. Melissa, do you want to talk a little bit? Let me move on to the stats real quick. Let me go. Okay, I just switched my screen. Here are the stats for Montopolis. So it looks a lot different than what it did for the greater Austin area. Also, if you notice, the months of inventory are almost 6 months. Almost 6 months. These are the December statistics for the Montopolis area. But if you look down in the lower right corner, it's about the same, 89.6% to close price. So about 11% off from what sellers are asking for. And I kind of just want to emphasize that these numbers really, we have the mixture of all the homes. We have new construction homes. We have your older homes.
Yeah.
We have your distressed homes, because remember, Montopolis is an older neighborhood. So we're going to have a mixture of all these sales that are happening that kind of skews the price here. What do you think, Melissa?
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, look, in a perfect world, 310 is a great price for a home. But there is so much development happening in the Montopolis neighborhood. So a little context, when Liza and I do our introductions and we say we're from Montopolis, we're from the 4-1. This is the neighborhood that we grew up in. It's Southeast Austin neighborhood, about 4 miles east of downtown. So why is it important for us to start this series off where's your hood with our hood? Mm-hmm. Is because I think this is one of the very last untouched, if you want to say gentrified, you're beginning to see what you saw in 78702 in the Montopolis area. So I'm telling you guys, the homes that are being sold right now that are new construction in the Montopolis area are upwards of $500,000 or more. So you're seeing a lot of properties that are, you'll have two, they zone it condo, right? So you'll have 2 buildings on one lot. Even on the street that I grew up on, there's, construction going on. And my mom's thinking, my neighbor just put a sign in the yard. I hope she doesn't sell. I'm like, Mom, it's going to happen. So, the homes that are, your cottage style type homes that are like a 3-1, the prices are in the 300s, but the new construction, you're going to pay a lot more for that, especially if it's there isn't a street called Kemp Street in Austin and Montopolis. That street has the best views of downtown.
Here it is,
all of the city, in my opinion.
Here's Kemp Street. Just in case you were wondering, that's Kemp right there.
Yes, and on the other side of Kemp Street is the untouched land, but what separates Kemp from downtown is the Colorado River. So if you go a little bit up north, Liza, you can see this is a Colorado River, and then on the other side of that is downtown Austin. So you can imagine there's a skyline, the most beautiful skyline. But if we're talking about prices, they're going to range in the 3s, and for new construction, you're looking at paying $400,000 or $500,000 or more. Since we're on the Montopolis section, let me, are you okay if I share the inventory of what they have in Montopolis? So I want you guys to see just how different, like you have new construction, and then you have your cottagey homes, and then you have homes that are resale homes, and then you have distressed homes. So let me jump into that. Let me share that tab real quick. So here we have, can you see it, Melissa? Yeah. Okay. So here we have the Montopolis homes. As you can see, there's a lot of new construction with a similar style, right? You have your contemporary farmhouse style, and then you have other that one's $549,000.
Exactly.
And then right under that, you've got a distressed home for 300 something, right?
Yep. The one on Vasquez, 300,000. Felix Avenue, 525,000. And then you have your new construction home right here, right? Same with the one on Marigold. They're asking for 250. Now, I don't know without looking into each home individually, the extent of how much work needs to be done.
Mhm.
A lot of the distressed homes, they either can be remodeled if it has good solid bones. What most developers do, they tear down the property and they go construction like what you see here. Just like these right here, like 712 Vargas. Do you remember when that was for sale, Melissa?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Do you remember that? That lot was for sale for the longest time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't believe I'm seeing
what
that.
I find really interesting too, Liza, and for the audience, is that y'all, something very unique about the Montopolis neighborhood is those lots are a little bigger. So now there's some parts of the neighborhood where they had, the construction of what they call I can't remember what it was called, what they called it in the 70s. It was like it was called poverty something, like a grant or something, where they would, I think there was this is going back in the history, and I could probably, somebody can correct me on this, but I want to say that the church, the pastor of the priest of the church, Dolores Church, had gotten a loan, like he pulled out several loans to help build houses. So those houses, some of those lots are smaller, but there's houses on the other side, on one side of Montopolis, that have huge lots. So I can totally see them doing like, $749,000 condo where they can put 2 on there. Look at that one right there, and a unit 1 and 2 on Felix.
Yeah.
So that's just one unit, guys. Like unit 2, 563, unit 1 was probably the same.
Look at this one, 808 Montopolis Drive. Let's take a look. Hold on a second.
Is that a million?
Yes, 1.3 million. Let's take a look at the pictures real quick.
I mean, y'all, this is just crazy, Liza.
Look at the lot size. Really, a lot of it is going to be the value in the land. And it's right off Montopolis. And you can even see in that far corner, there's new construction there.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a massive lot.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see them wanting to sell it for that.
I mean, just so you have a general idea, but as you can see, like, new construction, cottage homes, right? And then you have some of your resale, you have some townhomes, some condominiums. There's a mixture of everything in Montopolis. And I want to say, as far as what I'm seeing from
There's a street I grew up on.
Yeah. Where? Begonia?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I grew up on Marigold.
Oh, wow.
Marigold. Yeah. Hold on. Let me share the map here on Montopolis. Can you see the Montopolis map?
I can. There it is.
Oh my God. So can y'all see Tom Grow right here? For anybody that Tom Grow is, gosh, that's the store everybody would go to in Montopolis. But right across the street that's where Marigold is at. That's where I lived at. And then Begonia is a little bit hidden from me. Let me see. Where's Begonia at?
It's right there behind the rec center. Bloop, bloop.
Girl, there it is. How can I missed it? It's right there. Girl, we live 2 streets away, Melissa, and we didn't know each other.
I'm older than you, Liza.
It's amazing how the universe works. But
I'm much older than you, though. So,
girl, stop. But all right, going back to the market stats. Now, y'all saw what the houses were going for, right? So just a reminder, this is what the variety of houses, styles, level of work needed, new construction. You see that they're in the low 300s. I think there was only one exception. One was at 295, I want to say.
Distressed, I think.
Yeah. So you have the low 300s all the way up to even, I think overall, with the exception of that other house with the big lot, I think what I saw was up to 700. And I think the only exception is this one, because I believe they're selling it for a lot value because of what the developing potential it has, as you can see with all the new construction going on. But going back to the market stats here for Montopolis, now you can see, and it helps you see when we pull stats, and not only median price point, but for all the homes, now you can understand why the median price we get is this. It does not mean that this is exactly what you're going to find. I mean, it's very probable that you're able to find several homes in that price range. But as you can see, they're varying price points, right? 700 here, 599 here, 1.3 million here. And then you have other homes that are 250, 295, but you're combining the distressed homes with the new construction, all of that combined, and several of those transactions, you start narrowing down to your median price point, and that's where we come with the 367. But just in December alone, they had 10 closed sales in Montopolis. Right now, we have 39 active listings, which is the ones that we showed you right now, and they have up to 6 months of inventory. So it's moving very slow in Montopolis right now.
Remember, we were going to farm Montopolis?
Oh my God.
Y'all, we had these flyers made. We were so proud of them. We had our pictures done. We were standing in front of this Town Lake.
And then nothing ever happened.
No, the box of flyers was in my car for a year. And then they were in my storage. And then one day I moved and I said, what's in that box? And I pulled this box out and I sent a picture to Liza. I said, can you believe this? Look at this. And she was like, we are awful.
Oh my God. Man, I think at that point we were so early on in our career, like trying to figure out how everything works.
Yeah.
And we're like, what do we do now? Like, what do we do next? How do we do
I think I told Liza, can I put a sticker over your face and cover your name? And because I was so mad that we had wasted money because it's not cheap to, and then they were bigger than this, right? They were like double it. Oh, you can't see.
I want to say, there were the large postcards. And I was like, oh, you know what you got to do, you know? And then you never even did it.
I know. I threw them away. I felt bad. But that's hilarious.
Oh
but that was like, that was like in 2015 or something, 2014.
It was so many years ago, but we've grown since then. We grow, we learn, and then when we move on. So, and here we are doing live streams. Who would have thought, right?
Right. I think those flyers were printed 10 years ago.
Yes, 10 years ago. And we look so different now from 10 years ago. People be like, you don't miss, ma'am. You don't look the same.
You don't look like that
person. Okay, guys. So now, as we promised, we're going to move on to Southeast Austin stats as well. So we have Montopolis here, and let me move on to the next slide. We have Southeast Austin. So this looks a little bit different with more specifically, if you point your eyes to the inventory here, we have almost 3 months of inventory. There's only 6 active listings as of now. I'm sorry, not now. I'm sorry. This is for the December stats. They had 2 closed sales in December for Southeast Austin, which is crazy, and 2.8 months of inventory. We're looking at an average of close to list price around the same, 89.4%. So that means that these houses were selling less than what the sellers were asking for. And then with the median price of $388. Again, don't focus so much on these numbers because, again, it gets skewed with comparison with the distressed homes and the newer construction. And a lot of builders don't even enter their information into MLS to where we can extract this data. So these numbers are going to be somewhat skewed. So when we let's go ahead and look at what's for sale in Southeast.
And I'm going to say something a little controversial as you're pulling up those homes.
Yeah.
In Southeast Austin, demographics and, just keeping myself ethically in line, it might just be an affordable place for people to live. And if you have a home that you've owned for some time there, and a lot of these homes, they're from 80s and 90s, sometimes the 70s, maybe the low inventory is because you just don't move. Maybe the new inventory is new construction because that's what it looks like when I'm seeing here that I'm seeing unit. Let's see this new construction, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, here, there's a lot of new construction. And as you can see, the one on Quicksilver, that's not new construction. It's one of the older homes in South Austin. And varying price points. The price points are insane. We're talking about price points between, on average, 300 to even upwards to 900,000 because of some of the newer neighborhoods that are in Southeast Austin.
Now, Liza, would Easton Park be considered in this data?
Yes. So I have Easton Park here. What's, another crazy thing. Let me pull up the map again and let me share this tab. So I'm going to zoom out of Montopolis because that's what we just discussed. Southeast Austin. Let me zoom in. Southeast Austin, technically, when you look up Southeast Austin, they consider it only this little section here north of Stastny.
McKinney, Dove Springs.
Yeah. But really, I consider Southeast Austin kind of north, because nobody says, when people say they're from South, I think they're generalizing when they say South Austin, but really there's a difference between Southeast and Southwest Austin. And I consider it north of pretty much Slaughter, because Easton Park is right here. Do you see where Pilot Knob?
Yeah.
Zoom in. Easton Park is right there. Here's Pilot Knob, the hopefully extinct volcano. That always makes me nervous because there's not really, it says extinct and then inactive. I'm like, wait, use the proper word. But anyways, here's Pilot Knob and here's Easton Park.
Maybe that defining factor is right there, 183
Mm-hmm.
and 183, between 183 and 35 would consider.
Yeah, and then if I zoom out, you know what I mean? Like if excuse me, if we consider south of 71 and then maybe kind of northish of Slaughter. Yes, it's South Austin, but Southeast Austin. So that's what I consider Southeast Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, Melissa?
I do. And I love that we're doing Where's Your Hood, because we can dive into like Del Valley. We can dive into
exactly.
Like, you know, we're calling it the hood, but neighborhoods can be different things, right? Neighborhoods could be, you know, towns and communities in the greater Austin area, like Pflugerville, Round Rock, Cedar Park, Manor, Elgin, like that's still your hood. So we're going to cover a lot of this stuff, guys. Home prices, things to do.
And we're so excited about it, because I think this is very helpful to people that really don't know when they want to either move to Austin or what part of Austin, or they just don't know much about, what hood, like can I afford it there? I mean, anything, really, any questions that you may have, we're hoping that these live streams will help you kind of get some clarity on that end. But moving back to the Southeast Austin homes. So as you can see, lots of new construction going on with varying price points, right? You see this home here is $385,000. We have another one for $300,000, and there's 2-bedroom homes. A lot of 2-bedroom homes, specifically in Easton Park. They are available if that's what you're looking for. And then you have your bigger houses, right? So we still have varying price points that it's possible if you're wanting to live in Southeast Austin, you can still find homes in the mid 300s. If that's your budget, or if you're wanting maybe something in the mid 400s, we have that too in Southeast Austin. So as you see, like a lot of these new constructions, like these here, these 3 here alone, they're in Easton Park.
They're expensive.
Very pricey. Yeah. And just be mindful, guys. Like I always tell people, you know, it's important to also, when you're trying to identify where you want to live, you know, also be mindful of the tax rates. Easton Park has a pretty high tax rate. I live here in this neighborhood and it's really high. It's gone down from 3.2% to I believe now 2.77%, 2.75%, because as they build more homes, that tax rate naturally goes down over time. But it's still pretty high in taxes. Now, out of Easton Park, like even not across the street. Well, yeah, there's a neighborhood across the street, Vistas of Austin. And then the other street, we have McKinney Crossing. Those are already lower tax rates. They're not in the 2.7. I want to say they're in the 2.4.
2.37, something like that.
Yeah, 2.3%. And that's just, you jump over the street and you're in a different neighborhood and it's already a completely different tax rate.
And it can be the difference between affordability or not for someone, because they're like, hey, I like this area. Yeah, so maybe you don't buy a $700,000 home in Easton Park, but like you can go right across the street. Exactly.
So like, for example, this home here, I'm almost positive it's McKinney Crossing, which is right jumping over the street off of Colton Bluff. And then I'm including Goodnight Ranch in here, guys, too. Goodnight Ranch is off of Slaughter Lane. I know you sold out there, Melissa, at Goodnight Ranch. It's such a cute neighborhood.
I love that neighborhood so much. It's so cute.
Yes. I mean, there's also variety here. Lots of new construction, a lot of your resale homes. And you also have a combination of the resale homes that have been recently remodeled. So there's a lot of styles to pick from and varying price points too. So I think if you're considering Southeast Austin, I want to say that I'm confident you'll find something that you'll like here and also in your price point. As you can see, I know I'm scrolling a bit fast, but I want you guys to see that there's even the 2 bedrooms. That still amazes me that you can find a 2-bedroom home. a standalone home, right? Not detached. Like this one here on Misty Slope Lane, that's a condominium townhouse.
So it's got walls attached.
Yeah, exactly. That one's attached. And then you have this one here on Leroy Drive. That's new construction, 2-bedroom home, if that's what you're looking for, right? Same with this other one on Leroy Drive.
What a good amount of inventory for buyers. So that's what we mean by like when people say it's a buyer's market, it's a seller's market. Like, who cares? Like, if you can afford a home right now, look at this inventory.
Exactly. All of this inventory that we have. Let me go back to the market stats. Yeah. So again, we're looking at the Southeast market stats. You're like, wait a minute, this doesn't match really what we just saw. And you're right, it doesn't. It's because they're combining everything that has happened in December. But really what we're seeing, I want to say in the mid 300s comfortably, right? What you can find. And it goes up all the way to the 800, 900,000 for bigger homes. We're talking about almost 4,000 square feet, 5-bedroom homes, and probably one of the priciest neighborhoods in Southeast Austin, which is Easton Park. But Easton Park also has homes that are the 2-bedroom homes in the low to mid 300s. So they do have a mixture of houses to pick from if you do desire to be in Easton Park, but you don't have to. You have other neighborhoods to pick from. And Southeast Austin is not just Easton Park. You also have Colorado Crossing. You have Dub Springs. You have the older neighborhoods. Addison is right off of 183.
That's more affordable, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I pulled up some Addison homes on here. I can't tell you specifically which one it is. It could be this one here. But, 1845 in square footage, 473,000. You have lots of options here. This one, I believe, is not in Goodnight Ranch, but I want to say off of 35, the one on East Slaughter. But yeah, I think there's a lot of options for you to pick from. Your contemporary style, your prairie style, your cottage style. I mean, if you have certain parameters that you want to stick with, then I believe you can find it here.
I like the word bungalow. Bungalow.
I love bungalow. I know, that's so cute. Oh, I want a bungalow or cottagey home. Give me that vibe.
A cozy Southeast Austin home.
Exactly. Cozy. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm going to remove that one and just show you again, this is what's available. Let me go back to the map.
Also, just to speak about, like, if you're a first-time home buyer, reach out to me, Liza, or your trusted realtor and discuss what your budget would look like with the lender. They're usually going to ask for some information. And there are some lenders that won't do a hard pull on your credit if they just have some information in front of them that can kind of give them an idea of what you'll qualify for. But of course, eventually they'd have to run your credit and ask for other bits of information. But, if you're just curious, like I said, reach out to one of us or a trusted realtor just to discuss, because you really don't know what you don't know. Right.
Exactly. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. I always tell people, if you just ask, and then at least now when you have that information, then you can decide, no, it's not for me. Yes, you know what? Everything's aligning for me. It's making sense. Let me go ahead and move forward with finding something in the areas that I want, budget that I want. So getting with the lender for sure would be one of the most important steps. Meeting with the realtor, discussing that home buying process if you're a first-time home buyer. And then if you're not paying cash or using private, lending, then using a third-party financer like a mortgage loan officer out there or a bank, that would be the other option to finance a property. But I wanted to highlight certain things that are around the area too. A lot of you may know this and some of you may not know this, but y'all know that Radio Coffee place that's off of Manchac and 71? Okay, so they opened up one in East Austin. They call it Radio East.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yes. So let me zoom in because, all right, y'all see me zooming in?
Yeah.
So y'all know how Montopolis kind of turns into Stastny?
Yeah, it goes all the way.
Yeah, it's kind of off of, there it is, Radio East. Y'all see that?
I didn't know they did that. That's cool.
Yes. So off of 71. So let me zoom out again. Y'all with me, right? Mm-hmm. So off of 71, here's 71. here's Montopolis, but it transitions into Stastny. So it's right before, it's literally Burleson, Montopolis, right here. There's Radio
Oh,
East.
yeah. Cool.
So a lot of folks now, they either go to Radio East or they go to Cenizo. And Cenizo is another coffee shop. It's a really cool, let me zoom in real quick. My apologies.
We're a little partial to coffee, so we're definitely looking up coffee shops.
Oh yeah,
Drink a lot of coffee.
faux show. So here's another. Actually, this little area here, they have it's like a food trailers all around this area here. So off of Colton Bluff, you can't miss it. It looks really cool. They have a tree house.
Cool.
They have a coffee shop there. Not shop, but coffee trailer, mobile trailer. But it's a really cool area if you want to check it out. If you're wondering, right, what's happening in Southeast Austin. A lot of the other folks, they also go to, let me X out of here. So we have Meanwhile Brewery and Pinthouse. Let's see if I can pull it up here. So here is Meanwhile.
Nice.
One. And then we have, if I go on a little bit more, kind of getting close to 35 here, right off of 71 is Pinthouse Brewing. If you're kind of
getting out of Southeast, no I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know, right? Just a little bit. Still, it's south of 71 and east of 35. So technically,
you're on the cusp.
Right, we're on the cusp there. And then the other new bar that opened up is right off of, I want to say 812 and 183. It might not populate here. Here it is, Drinks Backyard. That's another one that
looks fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. I want to say they also live in Easton Park.
So they built a bar.
And they built a bar, right? Because let me tell you something about these neighborhoods, right? You have these neighborhood forums and you got a lot of people complaining how we don't have enough out here, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, because we're used to driving, I'm okay with a 15-20 minute drive. I love going to Congress anyway, South Congress. That's my jam too. So I'm like, I'm good with the drive, but people wanted something close. And then you get enough people complaining and it's, you have a problem that's there on the surface. And then you have people that are wanting to come up with solutions. And this guy came up with one. The other funny one, however, and then we can go on to, events here in a little bit. But the one that I find funny is, I didn't know this, but y'all know Circuit of Americas, right? That's
Coda.
Okay, Coda.
Coda, tomato.
So Circuit of, y'all see my little arrow, right? Circuit of the Americas is right here, that green dot right here. All right. And then Easton Park is right over here. All right. So I'm not gonna lie, there's times when I can hear what's going on at Coda, right? But I don't know if it's I've never been here before, but there's I don't know if it's a bar or a club that opened off of Burleson called the Concourse Project.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of neighbors were in the forums, right? They were complaining that they could hear. They're like, "Dang, my windows are banging," right? Because you can hear all this noise. But there's a lot of that too going on. So you want to know what's going on in your hood too, and if noise is an issue, then maybe try it out. But I don't hear it. I don't hear any. My windows aren't banging, right? I don't hear any music coming. Like, I really don't. And I live there, so I don't know what people are referring to, because the ones that do say something, they're like they live even further down in Easton Park, and I live closer, but I don't hear it. And I'm a light sleeper, but just, a heads up out there. But there's a lot of new development going on, and I think it'll be ongoing for sure. As you can see, airport's right there, close to it. Coda is close to it too, close to 183, 71. I think it's a pretty neat little section here in Southeast Austin, and including Montopolis, because we're kind of close there. We're neighbors. So yeah, I don't know if you had any final thoughts to say on that, Melissa, before we move on to the events.
No, I think the only thing we're going to add, we're done with this portion. I think we were just going to add like what's around the area, like what's around Montopolis, a little history.
Yeah, let's go. You want to jump into maybe Roy,
Yeah.
Guerrero Park. Okay, let's share this. And Melissa, I'll let you take it away, ma'am.
So this land that was kind of unused land um, was actually commissioned to a park with the city of Austin. This is about 10-ish years ago. It's a pretty huge land tract, and it is butting up against the Colorado River. But just forever, y'all, it's just been like this untouched land. And I knew eventually somebody was going to want to do something with it. But they've got a nice little park now, and it's got pavilions, playgrounds, there's trails. You can picnic, you can hike, you can do some pretty cool hiking on those trails back there. They say wildlife watching, so I guess lots of bird watching. But I think one of the biggest attractions is it's got the baseball and softball field. So there's lots of tournaments with little league teams out there. But I think it was a really good use of the land, and it was such a need for the community because forever it's just been the Montopolis Recreation Center and then the fields behind there, which weren't, I mean, I think they do soccer on them now, but it wasn't big enough to meet the needs of the community. But one of the things I love about Roy Guerrero Park, y'all, is segue into Secret Beach.
Oh my goodness. Let me go right into it.
So this became like super like popular about, I don't know, 5 years ago or so, maybe more. But people were like, you know, there's this secret beach in Austin and you have to know how to get there. But by the way you get there is through actually Roy Guerrero Park. So they call it beachy because there is some sandy areas. So this is, again, the Colorado River portion. See, oh, look, there it is. I actually have a little thing there now. So if you're not from Austin, y'all, just any really river, lake-ish type body of water, you'll not want to swim in when it's like 100+ degrees, just because it's just not safe anywhere where you go with microorganisms and all those things. But I'd say, you know, in fair weather, spring, early summer, it's fun. And like you see this little kid making a little rock castle. It's so cute. It does look like that out there. And I think they call it Secret Beach because once you get out there, you're like, where did this come from? It's just like a cool trail. You go down and all of a sudden there's this like clean, crisp water, shaded trees. Look, they've got the sand out there. It is just a fun place to go and explore with your kids. And lots of people take their dogs hiking out there, but it's really neat. And it's, guess what, guys? It's not so secret anymore.
It's not.
It's not so secret anymore. But so those are a couple of fun things to know in Montopolis area. And then about, oh gosh, I want to say 2-3 years ago, gosh, I lose track of time, but forever Montopolis has had a really old recreation center. And I don't know if you've seen it now, Liza, but there's a brand new one there now.
What?
Yeah. So if you'll look up Montopolis Recreation Center.
Let me, all right, let me type it in. There's so much going on in Montopolis that, are you talking about this one here?
It's a shiny new rec center.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, open it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm right on it.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like now, guys. So I think that if you don't know, there is a shiny new rec center there. They have
the pictures.
Yeah, they got lots of youth sports programs, teen programs, toddler programs. What I love the most about the new rec center is how they're accommodating the 50+ community in the area. So you have, you know, your arts and crafts and just programs, different types of programs for the 50 and over community. But my favorite of all, and I know this is super popular now, but y'all, they have pickleball there. There's pickleball courts there inside of the rec center. So I know it's a super popular thing to do. So even if you don't actually live in Montopolis, utilize the rec center for the amenities that they have. They've got, with the 50+ programs, maybe you are retired or your parents are retired. They have like social coffee meets. They have workouts. They call it the varsity, right? Table games, field trips, bingo, pickleball, all kinds of stuff to do there. So anyway, just things to keep in mind about a new shiny community center in Montopolis. And they have the summer camps, of course, after school programs.
Nice. I
Oh,
love
one of
it.
the things I like about the rec center is if you want to do indoor walking, especially when it's cold or outside or hot, they have a track on the second level, so you can walk the track at the top.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive. I think it's come a long way for sure to provide that, especially with the growing community,
Yep.
From
Isn't it cool?
it is. It's really cool. And I want to say that I have seen it, and maybe I just didn't. I don't know. It's just so much. My eyes get distracted with. I'm in shock
When you
sometimes.
go down there.
I drive. I'm on Montopolis. I'm like, holy, when did that get there?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. So
I
yeah,
feel like the only thing that looks familiar still in Montopolis, especially off of Montopolis Drive, because you don't recognize that rec center because it used to be this big, round, ugly building for years. But is going to be Dolores Catholic Church because it still looks the same. And then there is a property in Montopolis that every time I drive by it, I'm like, God, those oak trees are amazing. And I know you know which one I'm talking about.
which one?
There's 2 big oak trees, and it's on a lot right by the cemetery. And you cannot miss them, guys. They're just beautiful oak trees.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like my what do you call it? Landmarks of like definitely in Montopolis because of those 2 oak trees and Dolores Catholic Church, and now this new recreation center. So yeah, the old rec I used to walk to and play.
I remember I used to walk by there too. Like we just walk, like, okay, let's go play. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Okay, so moving on some events that are kind of going into February for next month. Let me move on here. So I've never been to this. Have you, Melissa, to the Lights Festival?
No.
I've never been to it either. It's something that came up that I saw, and it looks like they have, I guess, the Lights 80s, 90s tour. I'm not sure what that means, but it looks really cool. It is February 10th, and you're seeing my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So looks like tickets, I guess the early bird tickets are sold out, but it's 52 if you buy now, 68. I guess will be the price increase. This is it's funny because they call it the Austin Lights Festival, but it's technically in Rockdale, northeast Austin, north of, or kind of in the middle between, if you continue going after Taylor, Texas, then it's right there in Rockdale. But that's where the Lights Festival is happening. If you're looking for something to do, maybe trying something new, this actually sounds pretty fun to do that. And the other one is Carnaval. How do you say this? Brasileiro? I don't know. I need my Brazilian friends.
Yes, I've been wanting to do this, y'all, like for years.
Melissa, why don't we go? Because you know what? I'm going to have to admit, for as long as obviously we lived here, I've never been to this. Never been. So maybe this year we go together or something and experience it. But I've never been here.
It's in February, right?
Yeah, this one is, I want to say it's on the 4th. Let me see here. Yeah, February 3rd. I'm sorry. February 3rd. Carnaval Brasileiro. Please don't come at me if I said that wrong. And by the way, I don't know why this happens, but people think I'm from Brazil because my last name is Brazel. It's not. I'm like, I'm not. My parents are from Mexico. Okay. Like I know nothing Brazilian. I don't even know Portuguese. I don't know. So Brazel is actually an Irish last name. So I find it funny when I have to explain that to people, and you wouldn't believe, you would think that it's just like regular, I don't know how to explain it, but I had a doctor, when I had a doctor's appointment, he goes, "Oh, interesting last name. Are you from Brazil?" I'm like, no, sir. I'm not. I don't know how the last name would indicate that, but it's not happening here. But anyways, this is another festival that's happening in early February. It's in a few weeks from now.
It's very popular, and there's a fellow realtor, Penny Mulder, that I know that she's been a part of this event for years. And every year she's like, "Are you gonna go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go this year." But it's just like a big Mardi Gras for like Brazilian, I guess, themed, right? But this is big in Brazil. But I heard it's just a huge dance party, and you can just wear anything you want, really. But it's I really want to go. I think we should really go.
I think it'd be fantastic if we went just to experience it and see what it's all about. Yeah, but that's what I have here. You know, and I was trying to pull up Katt Williams' skit from the Montopolis section. So I wanted to share that with you guys. But Melissa, you send me. Let me tell y'all something about Melissa. Melissa, don't hate me, girl. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. This girl will send me so many videos on Instagram and Facebook, and I cannot keep up watching all of them.
Okay, I think I just sent you the link.
Oh my God. Wait, on Instagram or Facebook? Where'd you send it at?
On the private chat.
Oh, on the private chat. Okay, hold on. Let me. All right, let's see if I can pull this up. Give me a minute. Let me figure this out. Oh, dang it. It's asking me to sign in. Hold on. If I remember my
remember your password.
But I have to share it just because it's so funny. And the fact that it's talking about Montopolis, Katt Williams talking about Montopolis. So
it's really funny, y'all.
It is so funny. Now hold on, hang tight, guys, because I got like, you know, 2-factor authenticator. You know, I'm paranoid about that stuff. We gotta keep our passwords protected and whatnot. You gotta bear with me. I'm gonna pull up this number here, this S6 digit.
Really funny.
But I do want to play it for you guys because I think it's worth the wait. I think it's hilarious.
Would it be a good way to end our show today?
So
the suspense is killing me.
So hold on a second. Am I playing this? No, not yet. Hold on. Let me restart it. How do I restart it? Let me refresh it. Let me refresh it. Hold on.
You got to put it on the screen. It's not on yet.
So you couldn't hear that?
I heard something.
Oh shoot. Well, hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull up the volume a bit more on there. It should be able to. All right. Is that good? Let me refresh it and then we're gonna start it again.
Make sure you unmute it.
It is.
Austin don't do shit, rather. If you a black person, you can travel all across the country and not find no shit like you gonna find in Austin. Even the hoods got fantasy names that sound like they could be movies. Montopolis. Do you know how many white families have went to Montopolis thinking they was going to a theme park? You should see the looks on their faces when they get. Montopolis must be right on the other side of this hood. You know it's dangerous when a nickname is a nickname you ain't never. Austin don't do shit.
Right? I think that's it.
That was it.
But that was a highlight of my week last week. I was like, what?
That is hilarious.
From Montopolis.
Oh my God. Leo, thank you for sharing that if you're watching. That was so funny. And that, I don't know, that made me laugh so hard because I was like, man, he's talking about Montopolis. So if you know, you know. But that's how we wanted to end it with that skit from Katt Williams. I thought that was awesome.
A little shout out from a celebrity comedian.
Good. You know what I mean? Like, we're good, ATX homegirls. But yeah, guys, we have successfully covered in under an hour all the topics that we wanted to discuss. If you guys have, I don't know, any questions or any concerns, or maybe you're looking to buy, maybe you're thinking about selling, please contact us. We don't.
Or maybe you have like something to talk about with your hood.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna be highlighting another hood next month, so
yes.
we'll cover, right?
You know what? Let us know what neighborhood we should cover next in our next live stream. So this is, again, it's going to be an ongoing series. We covered so much information, market stats, what's nearby, what's for sale, what's the average price points, why the market stats didn't really correlate with what's really going on out there. We're helping you see that way you can kind of make a good decision, whether it is to buy in that area or to sell, right? So I would love for you guys to contact us with any suggestions that you have. Maybe message us on social media. We're all over Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Find us on there. Take a look at our videos. We're kind of funny. And but
and Liza plays an accordion too.
I'm trying to learn how to play the accordion. I only have I only know a few what did my husband call it? I'm learning also because I have no musical talent at all whatsoever. So I learned a scale, he said, which is just a few buttons. But yeah, I'm learning that. Next week is my next lesson, just due to the weather. This Monday was super cold, so we had to reschedule for next week. But yeah, we're fun peeps, guys. So we're from Montopolis. We've been here doing real estate for the last, I keep saying 10 because 10's a magical number. Isn't it 13 years now?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it's like, 10 is such an easy number to remember that as the years go by, I'm like, oh, it's not 10 anymore. It's 13. So we've been doing real estate for the past 13 years. I will include all of these links. If you're curious about the events that we mentioned, Roy Guerrero Park, what is it, Secret Beach, anything that you're curious about, I will link that into this live stream so you can go back. And also our contact, again, just search our name. We're everywhere. But we're looking for your suggestions, or we're also here to help you if you need it. Again, guys, we go live every third Wednesday, Melissa.
Yeah, don't say Thursday, Liza.
Third. I know I said Wednesday. You heard me wrong.
Roll the tape. Give me the receipts.
Yeah, but it's every third Wednesday. So, and it's going to be an ongoing series. But those are my final thoughts. Melissa, you have anything else to say before we end it?
No, like Liza said, reach out if you guys need help. If you have a specific hood that you want to learn more about, whether it be an Austin neighborhood or a suburb, let us know. And if you are an expert in that area, maybe you're a realtor, maybe you're just active in that neighborhood, maybe we'll have you on as a guest. So we just thank you so much for joining our live. Even if you watch it after the live, we appreciate you and we're here for you. Thanks so much.
We appreciate your love. Thank you so much. And like that guy, con mucho amor. So we end it. Peace. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.